Hello, my name's Elijah, and today I'm going to go over some basic tips and tricks for just a beginning flipper, how to do some maintenance on your blade, and a variety of just sort of just tips that you wanna follow when starting off with your butterfly knife. So, what we're going to start with is maintenance. So the maintenance of your blade. Now what you'll notice, and you'll probably hear it throughout some of my videos, you can't hear it right now, but throughout some of my videos you'll see that what'll happen is the blade will start to squeak just a little bit. And well, that's perfectly normal. It's fine, especially if you expose it to moisture, which you're going to try not to do, but eventually they're going to squeak, especially if you have like a lower quality one like mine, because it's very difficult to get a high quality trainer. Again, I'm using a trainer because the real ones are illegal in my place of living. So what I like to do, and what you'll notice is the squeak will usually come from right around inside here. So you'll hear it right around in there, and it's very annoying. It adds way too much noise to something that's already pretty loud. So what you're gonna do to try and eliminate that is pretty much WD-40. That's what I use. I know there's a lot of like sort of knife lubricant that you can probably use, and a variety of other ones, but I like it keep it simple. I just spray a little WD-40 right in this area here, leave it for a little bit, and then just grab a paper towel and wipe it off. So that's what you're gonna start with. That's how you get rid of that squeak. And you'll notice it'll also flip a little bit better. So I don't know if you just heard it there, but there's a little bit of squeak when you do a certain amount, and like especially when you can hear it in that sort of motion. Next, I'm going to teach you how to tell a good blade from a bad one. So I'm going to tell you exactly right now this is a bad blade. Want to know how? Because we have this little thing here. It's called blade play. What that means is how much this blade moves like that. That's called blade play. And as you can see, mine moves quite a bit. That's not good. Now, what you see on like the very expensive ones, like your $300 or $400 knives, your Benchmade 40 series that are in perfect quality condition because nobody uses them, is you'll notice that these have very little blade play, and if any at all. So that's one way you can tell from a good knife from a bad knife. Two, just like the quality of your steel that you're getting. That's another one. And from there, also, as you'll notice, there's kind of these cool little signs on the side of my knife. I wouldn't recommend that. I'll post a link in the description of what exactly this knife is. And I'm not going to recommend it. There's a variety of ones, as you'll see on your classic, like Benchmade 40 series or 60 series, is that they'll have these holes in the handles, and that's the type of thing you want. It adds, although it's marginal, it adds like just a little bit of extra grip, and that way there's no potential for, well, there is a little bit of potential, but there's less potential for it sliding off, and you'll just have a better time with holes versus no holes. It almost looks like what the blade looks like here, just on the handles. It also decreases the weight just a tad, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. Weights on butterfly knives can vary quite a bit, and it's sort of whatever you get used to. You'll have your knife, and you'll get used to that weight. So it'll be a touch lighter, and so just all the benefits that come along with that. Another thing for beginning flippers is what I notice when I teach a lot of people, when they start off, they're going to hold almost very low on the blade. So say we're doing like a double rollout, somebody will hold like like that. So they'll try and do it like this. So what I'm going to say for a very beginning flipper, and all you experts out there, you know this already, but you're going to want to hold, I like to hold very high up, right near where the center of the blade is. So right around in here, that's your sweet spot, especially for things like chaplains and such. You always want to be holding the blade in this such a manner. So it's you can spin it easier, you can do easier flips on it like that. Everything is a little bit easier, although it may not seem that way at the start. Trust me, all you beginners out there, it's gonna help you immensely. So just hold it higher up on the blade, especially even like tricks like your Zen rollover here. So like that. When I learned it, I was trying to do it from the middle. I was trying to do it from out here, and in case you haven't noticed, it's way more challenging than it is out here. And I find it also looks cooler because when you're spinning from around really close inside, that means that there's less of a distance the actual blade has to travel from like there to there, which means it'll travel, it looks like it'll be traveling a little bit quicker, which just adds that extra like cool little flair to your knife. So that's what I'm going to say for your beginning flippers. Another way to tell quality is this latch here. So mine is a spring assisted one. I don't know if you can see that in there. My camera's not exactly the best. So your spring, mine is a little bit broken, or it's just I've dropped this thing enough times for it not to latch in there. But all your good blades are going to latch in there. Another thing for the beginners is don't be afraid to drop it. You're gonna drop it a whole bunch, actually. I have dropped, if I might post a picture of my floor. But it is absolutely ridiculous how many times I've dropped this thing throughout my house and just all over the place. So for all you guys that have like those $300 or $400 blades, okay, do it on your bed or somewhere that's not going to harm the blade. I treat mine like crap, unfortunately, because I'll be like washing the dishes with one hand and trying to like do a double, like a behind the eight ball with the other. So you're gonna recommend that you play with it where it's somewhere soft, somewhere that when it falls, it's not gonna damage the blade excessively. So you'll see, like, if I get a good quality picture on mine, like, there's all sorts of scratches and little things like that. You won't get that if you're doing it over your bed. And another thing I'm going to recommend is start with a trainer. I know it seems lame, especially for all you guys that can use your regular blades, but start with a trainer, especially when you're learning a trick, because it sucks cutting yourself. Okay, well, you don't want to hurt yourself on a new trick, and hurting yourself on a new trick also sort of dissuades you to do that trick, because you might hurt it again. Thanks, psychology class. So you're generally gonna want to, and plus they're only like $20. Yeah, they're crappy quality, and yeah, they take a little bit of time, but honestly, is it really worth like the giant gash in your hand or like a massive little scar the rest of your that you're gonna have for the rest of your life? Yeah, it's a cool like little war story, but like, come on, buy a trainer if you want to learn new tricks. Don't waste your $400 Benchmade 42 on your finger and then break it. So trainer is really useful. I know for guys like me, that's the only option because the real ones are illegal. But get a trainer. So those are some little basic tips for when you're starting out. Know your grip when you're doing your tricks, and always follow the instructions fully. So that's what I've got for you today, a little tips and trick video. Like I said, I'll post the link of this knife in the description, and then the one I'd probably recommend in the description as well. But that's what we've got for today. So have an excellent day, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you learned something.